Hi, I'm Chad.
And I'm Cole, and we are from Faith and Failure, and you are watching the Heavy Mental Breakdown.
Yes, 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 my friends, Cole and Chad, welcome
Thanks
back.
for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
How'd you guys dig the first one? Now that you've had a couple of months?
It was fun. Like I said before, I mean, we hadn't really done something where we've been able to like really dive deep into a song. So that was a lot more fun to do and a lot different than like your standard podcast stuff that you might do.
Yeah, just like he said, it was also, I think, the longest, interview that we've had. Um,
Yeah, these tend to get a little
and
long.
usually their questions like, oh, like who are your favorite artists and this and that. Well, this time it like I don't know, it felt special, so that was cool.
I
We
like
we were
that.
actually having a conversation instead of it being, question based.
Yeah, yeah, cool. I'm glad you guys had a good time. And what have you guys been up to since we last spoke when it comes to music and shows and just updates on the band? What's been going on in your world?
Well, since last time we released Masters of the World, that released in December. I forget the day, but that's been really good for us.
Cool.
Essentially, our most successful launch. Like we're over 25K on YouTube on it, and
Hell yeah.
Spotify and like Apple Music and stuff's like over six, I think, at this point. So that's been great. Other than that, we got an anniversary for the EP, which is what we'll be talking about essentially today. So we
Cool.
recorded the song we're going to talk about. We recorded an acoustic arrangement of it to
Oh,
release
cool.
as like an anniversary thing. So we're going to do like vinyls and all that good stuff, and that'll be released later. And we recorded like one brand new single as well, which will be out in the summer. And yeah, we just been got some unannounced shows for May and July so far. We're going
Yeah.
to Battle Creek, Michigan in June, and we're playing in Cleveland May 31st. So, a couple things that have been announced, but yeah, just doing the usual stuff.
Yeah, doing the things, doing the things. Um, but yeah, so you had mentioned we are going to be talking about a song called "The Fields." We're breaking that one down tonight. Was this the first time you guys have redone a song, re-recorded a song, and especially making it a little bit different?
No, actually, our original vocalist we did some songs with, and one of them was called "Leave Me Behind." And when Chad joined, we wanted to redo it with him, and because we did a couple different things instrumentally and stuff too. And when we recorded the original version, our drummer wasn't a part of the band yet, or at least our original drummer
Mm,
wasn't. So we didn't have like real drums on it or anything like that. So we went and redid it, which actually also we released it as a single in I think it was like the end of 2020, but it's the fifth track on the EP as well. So,
mm.
but that was just a straightforward like we redid it with just like some subtle tweaks. Obviously, Chad's vocals on it, and like real drums. But like this acoustic version of the Fields, it is the song, but it's decently different. Like did a lot more arrangement and stuff on it. It's a little shorter than the original, and
Mm.
it's got some a little bit of newness to it as well. But it was one of those songs that it just always felt like the chorus of it could translate super well to just strumming some chords, on a guitar and singing over it. And we had talked about doing it for a pretty long time, and then it was like, well, hey, we're approaching the 5-year anniversary of this thing. What
Yeah.
better time than now? So,
Yeah. So just because we're definitely going to dive in deep in these lyrics here and break these down, but just kind of surface level. What is this song about?
So this was the first, technically, the first song that I like wrote with the guys. Uh, I had just like come from, I guess, my like rock bottom, so it was kind of like
Mm.
there's a lot of metaphors for like drugs and like uh past relationships with women and kind of being kind of homeless and lost, looking for
Mm.
like kind of guidance. And then like I came back and I got with back with my family and friends because I wasn't talking to my family or friends for a while. I was friends with some bad people and just came home and got my life right, met these guys, and yeah, it's been a blast ever since. I've been nothing but having fun with them. So
That's awesome.
it's cool to dive into this today.
Yeah, yeah. This one seems like it's a little bit more of a personal one than the last one we did.
Yeah, I'd say this is the only like personal level song that I have. It was cool doing
Okay.
the acoustic version because I got to put a lot on my belt for sure because I'm singing a lot more intensely than you would on an acoustic song, and I got to play
Yeah.
the banjo, so that's a win.
Hell yeah. All right. This is The Fields by Faith and Failure from out in Ohio. Their first breakdown is up on Spotify and YouTube. Go check those out after this. But for now, we've got The Fields. Let's break this track down. All right, I feel that's a good place to stop. I have a question. I have a question. The f-
Nice.
the fields. What are the fields? What in this song, what does the field mean?
It's fields is in like different dimensions,
Okay, different
different
dimensions.
variations of different things. That's just kind of what we're going for here.
Okay, okay. We're given life to test us all. A labyrinth filled with gold, an ever-passing solitude of realms. Yeah, life does test us, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like it's always fucking doing that. And they tease us with golds and fortunes and what you want out of life, fancy cars, big houses, whatever. But it's an ever passing solitude of realms. It's like you don't know which way to go and where that's going to take you. It's almost like that two different paths. You know, you can go down this path or that path. I feel like this one is kind of in the world of that. You know, ever passing solitude of realms. That's what it feels like.
But I'm glad that you understand this. This is awesome.
Oh, was I right on with that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it just felt, yeah, it totally just feels like, and also like we're just reliving the same things
Yeah,
over
and
and over and over again.
it's that saying too, like that's just the way it is, or it's like we're set up to fail, and there's
I've been saying
millions of
that a
different things we
lot.
could do.
I've been saying that a lot lately. Just like the way
Yeah,
to the way the world's going right now and just fucking everything. Like I feel like we are all just like being set up to fail
absolutely.
in
But
in
from
many
birth,
different
dude.
aspects. Yeah, from yeah. Ugh. I don't know. I've in the last year or so, I think I've become a pretty solid conspiracy theorist. But only because when I listen to that kind of stuff, it makes more sense sometimes than what's being told on the news. I'm just like, I don't know what's real anymore. Eh,
Yeah. It's just
weird.
crazy because you feel like, you know, 20 years ago you might look at the conspiracy theory and laugh it off, and now
Right.
it's like, oh, a bunch of these have like seemingly become true now. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, what do you know? Where's the line of like satire versus like, oh, there's like some realism to it, you know?
Yeah. And what are we going to do about it, too? Seems like
Well,
nothing's really being done about a lot of things.
but we can't do anything.
But we can't do
Yeah,
anything.
it's just the way it is.
We're set up to fail, even if we wanted to do something. It's in a different realm. A realm we have no control over. But I know things have got to give somehow. That's a heavy line. I'll find a way out, but I'm scared to change. But I know things have got to give somehow. If I keep trying hard enough, something's going to work.
You'd like to think that anyway,
Yeah. But
but it's
I know things have to give. Have got to give somehow. I feel like when it comes to creatives and music and songs and stuff, one thing that I hear a lot is we like to put singles out instead of albums because you never know what's going to hit at what time. You know, you could be sitting on an album for like a year and a half, a year, whatever it is, because you're waiting to build this whole thing. But I've been hearing a lot of people just putting things out to see if something will stick. I almost see this in the mind of a creative going through something and just I know it's got to give. Something we're doing is gonna work at some point.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely correct. I mean, this EP is the only thing that we've done that hasn't been a single. You know,
Mm.
and we recorded it during COVID too, so it wasn't like there was a whole lot
Oh,
else to go do.
interesting.
Um,
Okay.
so that was another reason
Hmm.
why we did it, and so you know, but I mean, there's it obviously takes time, it's money, you know, working with like quality producers is not cheap.
Yeah.
um, you know, and so yeah, it's this. Once we did this, we ended up switching to doing singles just because you don't have to sit and go, well, we need like 5, 6, 7, 8 songs, whatever, you know, and then go
Hmm.
record all those. You can be like, hey, we've got one or we've got two, let's go record these, and then you get them back and you can start putting stuff out. And
Yeah. Spread it
anymore
out a
now, it
bit.
seems like yeah, all this stuff now is just like how often are you doing things? And if you
Right.
write 10 songs and you put all your eggs in a basket of an album, like it's a cool thing to do, and I think it looks good on like a band resume, but at the same time it's like that album's gonna you're gonna promote it for X amount of time, and then it's gonna be on to the next thing, and you know you just put 10 songs on there or whatever, whereas you could have done like, well, hey, we could have done 10 singles, and it's the
Right.
illusion that you're doing way more than you are, just because it's always like every couple of months or every, you know, whatever, it's like, oh, there's a brand new song, But
Yeah.
it's all about perception, I think, more so now than anything. And the only
Yeah, that's a
people
good
you
point.
really see do, yeah, I mean, the only people you really see do like full on albums are like well established bands who have been around for quite a while.
Hmm.
Outside of that, anybody that's new, kind of trying to break through, it's here's a single or here's an EP potentially, but yeah, it's usually a lot of singles or like a double single release or something like that.
Yeah. One thing that I'm seeing a lot too is once about 4 or 5 singles have came out, they'll release it as an EP with like one new track on it. So they kind of start building it that way, or like like a different variation of one of the tracks.
Yeah, or
I've
like
been seeing that a
there's like
lot.
a full 12-song album, but 5 of the songs were
Right.
singles.
Right, right,
So it's
right.
like,
Stuff like that.
oh,
Absolutely.
it's an album, but it's not. I
Yeah.
mean, it is, but
So how
yeah.
has this approach been for you guys? So this was the first one. This EP, the Failed EP, was, you said, your first one that came out right after 2020, and you dropped it. Did you drop this one at once? I mean, I'm sure you had like a single and then you put it out, but like this one wasn't a single by single release. It was an album. It was an EP
No,
drop.
we did. I mean, we re-recorded "Leaving Behind" like we were talking about earlier, and technically that came out. I don't know, 5 months early or something like that.
Mm,
But there wasn't like an official single from it. Like we released it as what it was, and
yeah.
sort of promoted everything equally.
Yeah.
We
So
didn't do like any
what's been
individual.
that main difference for you? So like your first time, your first thing you put it out was this, and now you're approaching it differently. What's kind of been that comparison? How are you liking it, or how's it going for you?
I mean, I think it's been going pretty well. It's definitely easier in the sense of you don't have to feel pressured to like, okay, hey, we need to have X amount of songs that we're proud of and ready to
Right.
do. Where we could say, hey, well, we've got one or we've got two. Let's just go do these. But and it's even easier for a lot of other stuff like you're not even just talking financially, but like for get artwork done or getting merch done.
Yeah.
It's easier to kind of try promotional, goals and stuff like that, and you sort of see what works and maybe what doesn't. So, in a few months, when the next single comes out, are working from a better point or whatever. So, it just felt like, I mean, the EP did really well, like all around, and it was nice because all of a sudden we had like I think 7 songs or 8 songs, whatever it was at the time, out now, and so it was a lot easier to like we could play longer shows because we had more stuff to do. But
Hmm.
it was like one of those things where we eh, it just felt like the promotion of it kind of died off. It kind of like
You're
you put
right.
all the eggs in one basket, and
Yeah.
then it was cool, but then it was like, okay, 3 months later, what have you done for me lately? And we had another single that we were working on, but it didn't get released until I think like October of that year, and this came out like at the end of May or end of March. I mean, so there was like a big gap,
Oh.
and it was like a lot of the stuff, like people, eyeballs, ears, whatever we got from it. It was kind of harder to retain them in the long run because there wasn't anything new to follow up.
Yeah. It's a good strategy. It's a good approach, and a lot of people are finding momentum from it. Kind of keeps them going. Like one's out, cool. I don't want this to die. Let's. I don't want this momentum to die. Let's get another one out. And it's working pretty
Hmm.
well for a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know something's got to give somehow. I'll find a way out, but I'm scared to change. Scared to change. The fear and the unknown. There's a song that I like, and the lyric is, "I don't know who I would be if I was happy." Just changing. It's just a change. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's so hard to do, and we don't do it until we absolutely have to. And I realize that a lot. Like, I'm not fixing this. like for me, for example, when I was at rock bottom, I was just like, it took something really wild to happen to me to make me want to change. So I'm scared to change. Something's got to give. I'll find a way out. I get that. Because you never know what change is going to bring. Don't test me, boy. Don't go explore. Beyond the fields, be warned. Evil's waiting for you there. I kind of feel like I'm living that lyric right now. Don't go explore. Beyond the fields, be warned. Evil's waiting for you there. With all the shit in the news, Israel, Iran, Gaza, all these places. Beyond the fields, be warned. Evil's waiting for you there. A lot of bad things happening overseas right now, but what Chad, what do these mean to you? These lyrics here.
I keep muting my mic. Yeah, so it's just basically like, you know, when you're like being raised up and you have like everybody telling you what's right and what's wrong, and you know, all these things that you shouldn't like, but you know you do. It's like, you know, with church and all that, like with being raised where you would go to church and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, like, you know, stuff like rock music and, you know, drinking's bad, don't say these words, don't do this or that, you know. That's kind of what it is. They're like, basically, when you grow up, you get a job and then you die. That's how it is. Like, that's not what we want.
Oh, so this part right here, like the "don't test me, boy, don't go," that's someone speaking to you. It's kind of like an authority person saying that to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want this, you know. You'll find out the hard way if you do.
And people can relate to that on really anything. Don't test this. There's something to be scared of, whether it's getting out of an addiction or trying to get yourself in a better place.
Yeah, in this case, it's talking more like temptation or like peer pressure into, you know, we've all been there, like, oh, to like try this sip of alky, or try this cocaine.
That's why
Yeah,
that's
stuff
why
like that.
that's why I said it. It could be relating to addiction, like you said. Yeah, absolutely. There was a job that I had when the supervisor was not a good person, and I had said something one day, and I was shortly fired after that.
Oof.
Don't go explore. Beyond the fields, be warned. Evil's waiting for you there. This guy was talking to our 20-year-old female PA. He was DMing her late at night. He invited her to this like sexual film festival with him. Like all the films were kind of like erotic and shit. He was DMing her like late night on Instagram, and he bought her this really nice gift and gave it to her in front of everybody. And I'm just like, okay, this guy's got it. She came to me, telling me about it, so I went and said something, and then a couple of weeks later, I was the one that was out. And I feel like, especially in a work environment, don't test me, don't go explore. So yeah, it's like a warning. It's almost like a warning there.
Yep.
That's where that takes me. That whole area took me to a place of career. And how sometimes if you test the boundaries of people who are in power, there's evil there waiting for you.
Doesn't go your way.
Yeah. All right, let's keep listening. stop it there. I really like your singing in this song, Chad. Like it makes
Yeah.
me want to sing along. It really does. Like I know the lyrics are a little tough and heavy, but like it just kind of puts me in a good mood.
Yeah, I like it. It's cool. When we were, uh, I remember Cole was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Like, we need to like play this out, so you can sing to it. We need to listen to you and see what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I was the new guy, so I get it. But man, once we went in there and I like laid the tracks down, like you could see it on everybody's face. They're just like, wow. And it was
Yeah.
really cool. It was really when we were doing the harmonies, like when we put the harmonies
Mm.
in, it was just like that studio magic that everybody, dreams and looks for.
Yeah, that's
So it was
awesome.
really cool. It was like
It
that was
was
the click.
Yeah.
it
They're
was
like you guys
it
were
was
like, "Oh
funny
shit,
though.
we got something going on here.
Yeah,
We
it was
got
cool.
something
Yeah.
here."
So the way that we always record things, it's like 98% of the time we have no idea what his vocals are going to be. When we do like the pre-production stuff, it's like it's all the guitar parts, the bass, strings, choir, like any extra stuff, drums, etc. But there's really never any vocals in there, and that a lot of that stems from this song because when we went in to record it, I think he had like a small setup at home and recorded it, and it was recorded very poorly. And I just remember hearing it and being like, "Oh my god, like what's going on here?" And I was because I don't know how else to really describe it, but we talked about it, and he was like, "No, just like trust me on," and he's like, "I didn't really know what I was doing at the time," and I was like, okay, cool. So we went in and we recorded it, and it was like, yeah, it's like, okay, this is sweet, and it's essentially worked that way pretty much every time. Um, so we always just joke that we never know what the vocals will be, so we're just as surprised as anybody, just kind of listening in during the process and everything. But that really
Yeah.
all stemmed from this song, and after that, I don't think he ever really demoed any vocals anymore. I think he just kind of he left it to himself, and just kind of goes in.
You're like, I'm
Knowing
not
what he's
gonna
gonna
let Chad
do.
hear. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna let Cole hear this before. I already know what he's gonna say.
I mean, sometimes like with the one that we like the new single we recorded, we knew I had a really good idea of it because we would start playing at rehearsal, so he'd sing along and stuff and do the vocals that way. But that doesn't happen a whole lot, So it's just every now and then. But yeah, for the most part, it was just like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "No, trust me." Because he has a knack for describing things in a way that we're like, what the hell are you talking about? And then he'll laugh and he'll go, no, 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 just trust me.
Yeah, like that Britney Spears shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
we
sure,
did.
sure. I know what that is.
Yeah, we did a song called Oma, and he kept telling me before we go in, he goes, "I want to put this thing at the end of the song, this guitar thing," and I'm like, "Okay, like what do you think?" And he's like, "No, it's like Britney Spears shit." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he could never really explain it to me. And we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
there
yeah, yeah.
recording final day, and he's telling it to our recording engineer, and he's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he kind of sang it. We're like, "Oh, okay, now like we get it." And and we put it in there and stuff. But yeah, just the way he describes things, sometimes it's like it makes you wonder what is he even talking about. But it always works out really well.
What is in the mind of Chad from Faith and Failure? Let's try to figure it out. Let's try to figure it out a little bit. So he also wrote "Innocence cut out, surrounded by whores in silver gowns." Who are the whores in silver gowns, Chad?
A lot of things I shouldn't be
A
doing.
lot of things.
Uh, yeah, uh, yeah. Women can really mess with you, man. And
Okay. This
there's
is
a
just straight. Okay, all right.
yeah, it's just straight up.
He's
Just yeah.
I dig it.
Notice,
There's really no much question there. I get it. All right.
notice the lady on the album cover that's got a silver dress on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's cool.
Yeah,
What does she got in her hand? Is that like a heart or something? Something
It's a
red.
glass of wine.
Ah, a glass of wine. Hey, you're having some glass of
this-
wine, huh? What is going on here?
That cover is an amalgamation of a couple of previous songs. So
I dig it.
That's the girl from our song Vampire, and the Wendigo is from Leave Me Behind, and so it was a cool little kind of match with some things. But she just happens to be wearing silver in this.
Oh, okay. So there was nothing specific about the silver. It was just that's what she wears.
No, because originally she I don't remember. I think she had like a purple dress on originally, like on another song. She was on the cover for. So
Well, that one is by whores in purple gowns. Then, beware, they'll always bring you down. There's hope that some love can save me now. But who would know how? Too much time I have spent in my head, innocent too long, and I just can't handle it. So it seemed like the previous verse was somebody talking to you, and now this seems like it's back to the talking to myself kind of thing. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, this
like a
is
flip
like
there.
this is like, hey, I was warned, and now I'm kind of going out and exploring a little bit.
Oh, okay. So this is kind of the stuff that you've been warned about. So
Yeah.
okay. I see what you're doing here. Gotcha. Was there a tough relationship that you went through, Chad?
Well, I mean, there's a couple, but it's just like I have like a not really, but my wrong woman radar was like broken. Like there were so
We've
many
all been
signs,
there.
and that's why it says like I've been in my head innocent because I'm just
Yeah.
oblivious. Well, I was
Uh,
just oblivious.
Dude, it happens though. I mean,
Yeah.
I was in a 14-year relationship, and
wow.
just one day I was away for the weekend, and I got home and all her stuff was gone, and I never saw her again.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my first marriage. 14 years together, walked out, never saw her again. And there's hope that some love can save me now. But who would know how? And I think one of the hardest things for me after that relationship was who's going to want me now? And it sounds silly to say that now, but that's how deep it got. I'm just like, who's going to want me now? I'm like in my 30s, I'm divorced. I don't know what I'm doing. Like I just kind of saw my world collapsing. Cuz I was really in my head a lot.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
couldn't
well,
handle it. It was tough. And we were talking about addictions and stuff. I mean, that's what really started my my addiction to alcohol. I'm
Yeah,
35
well,
days sober right
relationships.
now, though, so I'm doing okay, I guess. I don't know, but
Baby
yeah,
steps, right?
I totally get it. Absolutely. So I totally get. I get this part right here a lot. With so Cole, did you read these lyrics at all before the recording? I know you said sometimes you don't know much about it, but when was the first time you heard the lyrics for this song?
It might have been when we recorded, honestly. Sometimes
Oh.
he'll send me lyrics beforehand.
I
But
think
I
I showed them to you at a show we played before this, and you're like, "Oh, yep, seems cool. There you go."
yeah, at a show, like we're doing things, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
He's just like,
hard to-
"Yep, those are words." I didn't even we
You
we
wrote
just went to
something.
the studio. We just went to the studio and recorded a song, and he still hasn't asked to look at the lyrics for that song yet.
Listen, in my defense, he normally sends them to me,
Yeah.
and he hasn't done that. So
Yeah, I just
But
stopped
it's
sending
also-
them.
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
care.
fun though because that's part of the fun not knowing the words sometimes is because
Sure.
like when he's
Yeah.
singing, we get to it's always the misheard lyrics thing, you know, and so it's always a good laugh. It's like, hey, what did you sing there? And then he'll say, you know, what it was, and then we're like, oh, it sounded like this, and then we all laugh about it or whatever. So it's just a part of the fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, I'll always read through them like when he does send them to me because we'll submit them, you know, to the streaming services and stuff, and
Hmm.
so I got to read through them to make sure that like everything is there. There's no misspellings or anything like that. So
Well, for this song, when was so when you first heard the lyrics to the song, where did some of these lyrics take you personally?
talking about me.
Yeah, talking about you.
Uh, See, this is where I think I'm a little disconnected in music. A lot of time, it's kind of more on the rare side for me that lyrics like become like my grasp point to music.
I remember you said that in the first interview too.
Yeah.
I remember you said that.
Like my wife is the total opposite. She loves lyrics. Like actually, the line "There's some hope that some love could save me now" she has tattooed on her because
Oh,
she
wow.
loved this song and loved like that
Wow.
line specifically.
See the power of your lyrics, Chad. The power of music. Someone tattooed it on their body forever. That's wild.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, there have definitely been songs in the past that you know, and I'm like, okay, yeah, lyrically, like I really like maybe it speaks to me in some level, but most of the time it's not. Like I love like I more like focus on the instrumental parts, or but also like how the vocals are done versus what they're saying. You know, so and that's sort of where I am. So like I'll read stuff and you know, and there will be things where I'll see and I'm like, oh, that's like a really cool line or whatever. But I think there's also a difference between reading them like off of your phone or whatever versus hearing it. You know, because when
Yeah.
you're just reading it, like you only get so much. You know, you're almost like left to interpret it your own way versus like maybe having the lyrics but also hearing it because now you're seeing what the person wrote, but also you're hearing how they delivered it. And I think the combination of the two is a stronger thing than, you know, just kind of reading it off of a page or something.
Sure. Chad, in this kind of work structure you guys have where you write the lyrics and it's kind of up to you. Do you feel the pressure of that at all, or do you find that like being freedom and you have the freedom to do what you want, or is there pressure that they haven't really listened to the lyrics or heard them before it's out?
No, no. I'm like a little kid in a candy store, man. Like this is my playground. I get to
Cool.
do whatever I want. It's awesome. Now,
Yeah.
I've been in other bands where like I'm like, man, I really want to do this, and they're like, no, 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 that's not cool or whatever, and that's not the case here. I can, I feel pretty free, like you
Yeah.
said, but
That's
definitely
cool.
freedom.
But I know this maze will soon stop. It's changing. I'll always be waiting. I hate the changing. And then, but the first thing he says, but I'm scared to change. And then later on, I hate the changing.
Yeah,
Because it feels like a maze. Like you're just going. It just seems like it's a never-ending maze. And once you get to one spot, you got to turn around. It's not what you thought it was. Now I got to go this way. All
You
this
gotta-
change drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, you gotta adapt. You gotta adapt. Don't want to, but you gotta. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
It's the way it is. It's just the way it is.
It's like that Bear Grylls meme, you know, improvise, adapt, overcome.
I haven't seen that one.
It's like an older one now at this point.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
Bear
Cole.
Grylls, he was the
We haven't heard of this.
survivalist guy. He was the guy who was famous. He would always talk about drinking his own piss.
Oh, he
Yeah, like a
yeah,
TV
he puts
show.
the straw in the elephant poop. Drinks the water
He
out
was
of
like a
it. That
survival
guy.
TV show for a long time.
Nice. All right. Well, elephant poop.
It was
Elephant
a
poop.
20 It was definitely a 2010s thing.
All right. Well, let's keep listening. All right. Well, that was The Field by Faith and Failure. One of the reasons why I love listening to your guys' music so much is that it takes me back to a lot of my favorite tracks and favorite artists. And I know we talked about that a little bit on the last interview, but we're big Avenged Sevenfold fans. And
Oh yeah.
I definitely hear that in this, just like the other one. But it's funny though, like I felt like when that solo came in when it first started, it didn't feel that vibe, and but the vibe that I got, and I don't know, I don't really know how to explain it, but I kind of got like a Dragon Force vibe in the first part of that solo. I
Yeah,
don't
I can
know.
see that.
I don't know. I don't really know. I've been listening to them a lot lately, and so like I've just
Mm.
like I have their kind of structure in my head, and before they get into their just like absolute fast as they can shredding, they usually have a little bit of like a slow burn solo to kind of prep you for it, and that's
Mm.
what the beginning of that solo sounded like to me. I don't know.
I mean, I look at the beginning of that one as kind of the shreddier part, and then back a lot of times back then I kind of did multi-part solo sections. Like this one, to me has three distinct sections, and it's like you
Yeah.
start with that, and then you get to the slower part, the middle part, a little bit more, melodic. You could sing it, kind of a deal,
Right.
and then you go into like the arpeggio harmony parts that just kind of make it like ultra melodic, and then it
Yeah.
kind of
I dig
carries
that
you
sound a
into
lot.
the chorus again, So, yeah, I did that a lot. A couple like another song on this EP called "On the Line" does the same thing, where it's sort of got like a three-part, solo section and stuff. And there's been a few other songs, but it's always about like I don't know. I for most of them, I always try to do like a shreddier technical thing, and then but balance it out with a lot of melody and harmonies and things like that. So it's not
Yeah,
always just kind of one thing.
sure.
But yeah, it does have the section where it kind of like scoops and it's kind of chill before he goes into it though, and I think that
Yeah,
build up's really cool because then
it
when the
is.
drums come in with a double bass, it's just so sick.
I
Oh,
was
it's
gonna
Yeah.
so
mention that earlier too. The drums on this track are fucking awesome. Like
Good
right
story
when it
tell, Nick.
starts too, like you can hear the drums come in and it kind of like hypes you up before the song starts in a way. I like the
Yeah,
drums
Nick,
on this track.
Nick Brady
yeah, it's our
represent.
original drummer. Yeah, for me,
Hmm.
like I've always joked that I was a drummer who just played guitar. Like to me, I think drums are such an important and I think really overlooked kind of deal. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of that comes from, like Avenged being my favorite band. You go back to those old records with the Rev and like, there might be like a cool riff or a cool section that could stand on its own, but you hear those drums and it's like, yes, that is kind of what, moves everything together.
Yeah.
So like when I'm demoing or just sort of writing, I'm very intentional with what I'm doing as far as the the drums and stuff go. And back then with Nick, and it's the way it is now with our current drummer. Like I'll give him a full track, have drums in it, and I'll go, this is really what I'm looking for. And if there's like a certain part that's in there that I really really like, I'm like, hey, let's keep this. But like everything else, kind of, you're an actual drummer. Take like your take on it. But
Mm.
I think, if you work with somebody who understands how to arrange drums and how to use drums as like a tool that isn't just for them, but it serves the song. It can help lift sections or drive sections or pull
Yeah,
things back or,
absolutely.
kind of whatever. I think that is the hallmark of like what makes like a great band great is because it's not just the vocals that most people are what they're paying attention to, or if they're a band known for guitar solos, maybe you'll listen to that. But like being able to pinpoint a drummer who like understands songwriting and it isn't just like, well, I just play drums. I think
Right.
that's such an underrated thing anymore. Well, I mean, really in general, but I think over the years it's definitely gotten lost, kind of in the shuffle.
Hmm.
I agree with that.
Why do you think that is?
Um, I mean, I hate to say it because it sounds kind of like old man yelling at the clouds, kind of a deal. But I just think that a lot of modern kind of metal, whether it's metalcore or deathcore or just kind of heavy metal or whatever like subgenre you want to say, a lot of times over the last, I would say like almost 10 years now, it just seems like it's become way too formulaic in a way, and kind of
Hmm.
like working with who we do, who works with other like bigger bands and stuff, kind of seeing how labels do ghostwriters and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
you've got the same seven people from these like huge bands helping all these new bands write songs because from a label standpoint it's an investment and you want to get a return on it. You end up all of a sudden getting a lot of bands who are writing the same songs, and
Right.
you can almost like you can sit and listen to something new, and for the most part, if you have been listening to metal for a while, you can go, okay, well, here's this, they're going to do this next, here's the typical drum fill in this part, here's sort of XYZ. And I just think that the creativity has sort of been stripped away for the most part,
Hmm.
because I think part of it is also that just everybody's got like less of an attention span right now. And I think that's not necessarily the fault of people. I think it's just that sort of you're always being fed things that are shorter. And so
Hmm.
you're not required to have a longer attention span. So, you might see a song that's 5 minutes long and go, "Oh my god, like what is this?" But every other song comes out, it's like 3 minutes, or 3 minutes and 30 seconds. You're like, "Oh, okay," and it's like, how fast can you get to the chorus? And there's
Yeah.
been songs I've listened to by the 1 minute mark, they've hit the chorus twice, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you, so I don't know. To me, like the writing process is it's a really creative thing and it's a creative outlet, and I don't think you're really being creative if you're doing what everybody else is doing,
Yeah,
because I think you're making concessions at some point. And to me, I just don't like to put restrictions on writing. You know, this was like the guy that we recorded with, we've been recording with for 7 years now. And he was the guy that did this track and did the EP and did, you know, when we did the tower and all that. And when we used to go in there in the beginning, he'd always be like, "Are you sure you want this song to be this long? Are you sure you want this here and this here?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Okay," you know, because he was always working with bands who were doing like the Octane Core stuff. And there's great music in that. I'm not like
for
knocking on
sure.
it as a genre. I mean, a great song is a great song, but I think it's kind of like, you know, the pop punk explosion in like the early 2010s. It was like you had a few like really huge standout bands, and then it was like carbon copies were coming out all over the place,
Yeah,
and it just
yeah,
became way too oversaturated. And I think we're sort of seeing that again, but instead of pop punk, it's modern metalcore now, and it's kind of lost like, I don't know. It's lost like the uniqueness to it. You know, when you think of what metalcore was in the 2000s,
yeah.
where it was a mixture of hardcore and heavy metal, and you know, it had cool riffs and, you know, great vocals, singing. It had like fun, adventurous parts, and, you know, even like I wasn't like a huge fan of like the EDM kind of injection into it, but that was a unique
Crabcore.
thing. Yeah, like the crabcore stuff. I mean, there's some of it
Crabcore.
that was cool, but again, I think even that was sort of, you know, beat to death a lot too. But it's just, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of bands that are like really trying to take a chance and do something that I think could help them become more unique. Instead, it's like everybody's kind of doing the same stuff.
It's like all a
Yeah,
safety net. Like, not that it's a bad formula, like it works. Like there's some great songs that they put out, you know, but everybody's just kind of sticking to that. Like if you listen to a track for the first time, um, and you could just tell what part's next. You could tell exactly what they're gonna do.
yeah.
Not saying it's bad. We're not saying that the songs are bad or anything. It's just, you know, um, people could be better if they step out of their comfort zone, and I think we do a good job of like capturing that, um especially with drums, vocals, guitar, whatever. You know, if the guitar solo is 30 minutes long, then that's just the way it is, you know.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention about going back to the drums a little bit, I think one of the reasons why the drums stood out to me so much, and I was thinking about it as you guys were talking, I'm like, maybe it's because I don't hear it as often as I used to or should. Like I'm finding myself, I don't know if you guys follow or watch. I believe the channel is called Drumeo, like a YouTube
Oh yeah,
channel called
Oh
Drumeo.
yeah.
I'm constantly just I go to that page and just watch drummers drum. I
hmm
love just watching it. I love seeing the science behind it, and by fucking like legit amazing drummers like Brooke Wackerman's has been on there a bunch of times, and he's done Backcountry and some of the newer tracks, and it's just fun to watch. And I feel
Did you?
like I feel like those drummers are the drummers that our generation grew up with, like the Rev and Joey Jordison and like Brooks, and um I feel like maybe this new generation doesn't have. I never thought about it that way. Like maybe this new generation doesn't have like their generation role models to look up to when it comes to music or drumming.
I
it's
agree
kind of
with that.
it's like the Guitar Hero thing. You know, like
Yeah,
that. You know, like again, our generation. Like obviously, you had the Guitar Heroes in the '80s and stuff, and then in the '90s, it kind of died off because grunge was a different kind of music, guitar-based music at least. But yeah, when like the 2000s came in and Avenged Sevenfold came up and Killswitch Engage came up, and you know, I mean, I guess a little before that was like At the Gates, Atreyu, Bullet for My Valentine. You know, a lot of these bands were like bringing back guitar solos, and now they were
yeah,
creating sort of a modern Dragon Force, another one. You know, when Through the Fire and the Flames was on Guitar Hero 2, I think,
yeah,
like how
Three.
just like Three, yeah, whatever. But even like that as a game, like just the cultural impact that Guitar
Yeah,
Hero had,
it
not
did.
only just on guitar players, but just people listening to guitar based music. And I think that like a lot of the younger bands that are coming up now, or even just like kids who are in high school now, you don't have that same thing. Whether it's like an insane drummer,
Mm,
I mean, you got Luke Holland, but I think the thing with like Luke Holland is he's ridiculously good at drums, but he's always been kind of a for hire guy. You know, obviously he's been doing a lot of stuff with Falling in Reverse, and he had like I think it was issues before that, but he's just kind of sort of gone around and played with different projects and stuff. Whereas like Joey Jordison, you know, he did some stuff where he played guitar like in the Murder Dolls, but he was the drummer of Slipknot. The Rev was the drummer of Avenged Sevenfold. You know, like you had
yeah.
everybody was kind of there. Same
And
with
it's
like the
kind of the
guitar
same
player.
thing that's going on with Foo Fighters right now too. Like I feel like they're
Yeah,
bringing in a new drummer every year now or something like that. Every new
yeah,
album or something. And
because
Avenged
even
went
if you
through
think of
that too for a while until they got Brooks.
yeah, I mean Aaron was there for. I mean they did Rest of Nightmare with Portnoy and did a tour with him, but
Yeah.
Aaron was there for oh god, Aaron. I mean 2015 I think was when they let him go, but he was
Mm.
there.
For Hail
I
to
think
the
in
King.
2011. Yeah, which I mean
Yeah.
that was 2013, but like he started playing with them in 2011. So he was there
Oh.
for I
Oh,
think
that's
longer
right. I
than people
forgot he
think.
was
But
there a little bit. But yeah, but
yeah,
you know, but
because
but going back to the concept though, it's just like yeah, there's so many people nowadays who are just filling or jumping
yeah,
around and it's just like there's no
there's
yeah,
a
you're
lot of
right. There's no like yes, this drummer is in this band.
one of
You're
the
seeing
things that
less and
Chad and
less
I
of that.
one of the things that Chad and I always talk about, and Falling in Reverse is a great example of this. Ever since it was just Ronnie and like just whoever they're bringing in, I personally think the music's gone, with the exception of maybe like two songs. I think it's a lot of it's gone way downhill. But when it was Falling in Reverse with a band, when you knew the guys in the band, like Jackie Vincent on guitar or Ryan Seaman
Yeah.
on drums, like or Derek on guitar, also like the music was so much better. And it's just
Take me
kind of like
back.
some of these things just become a
Take me
revolving
back.
door. And like you can have some guy will leave a band and he'll go join another band, and it's like you don't really notice a difference.
Yeah.
Whereas like
Yeah.
you if Sinister Gates decided to go play in a different band, like you would tell that he joined that band because he's got his unique sound, his unique writing style, and now it's just kind of all been like I don't know. I hate to say formulaic, but a lot of it has kind of become that. It's just sort of
Yeah.
like, color by numbers or paint by numbers kind of a deal. So it's just, yeah, there's like a lot of lack of, I guess, band identity with a lot of stuff. And even bands that kind of stuck together that sort of went through like an identity crisis. Like I think A Day to Remember is a good example of that. And
Mm-hmm.
then, they got a lot of flack from it from people. Then they kind of come back with the last album and it's like, oh, like here they are again.
Yeah.
You know,
That's how
it's,
I felt when
it's
that one dropped.
yeah. I like the last album was fantastic. The one before that, like You're Welcome, there was like two songs on it that I liked, but
There's a
the
couple.
rest of it
They have a
was
couple bangers on there. But yeah, they
yeah.
got a lot
The
of shit for that album.
Yeah, and
Oof.
that was one of those things too, where like four songs on that were just random singles that were released. So like
Uh,
not even counting those, but just like songs that were like you heard them when the album came out. There was like I think two that I really liked, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get it. Like if you're on a label, they're going to want you to try certain things and do certain things, and I think if you're like a younger band, you don't really have like a say, or you might be afraid to say we don't want to try that because they could fire you, and now all of a
yeah.
sudden you're done. Whereas like these bands that have been around for a long time, they kind of do their own thing, and it's what you expect. Like I don't think anybody ever expects Metallica to bend to the whim of a record label now at this point and be like, well, we're going to write this because you told us to.
Yeah.
They're going to do whatever they want, whether you like it or not. And I just don't think there's a lot of that left now, currently at least.
Yeah. Well, there was a little bit more lyric at the end of that track. I'll burn. The rules and the principles are known. I see dark light, such fire, chest clenched tight. I'll always be waiting. Why did you close it out with those lyrics, Chad? I'll
The
always be
all
waiting.
it's just like the version of myself that I want to be. It's like that's kind of the idea that they're waiting for me, you know what I mean? Like that way I'm always looking like for that. Like that perfect version of myself is that's the one that's saying that. Like I'm waiting for you.
Mm,
Kind of like reverse instead of like, oh
yeah.
man, like I want to be this or I want to do this. Like, you know, that that version of me is like, I'm waiting for you. Come on.
Yeah, and that also brings me back to the maze line too. It's just like the things we say in our heads drive us wild. They go all kinds of fucking different directions. It's like a maze. Like our brain is like a maze. And what was that? I hate changing. Can't handle it. Evil's waiting. Scared to change. A lot of heaviness in this track. When it was released, Chad, once this was finally out there to the world, how did it feel to release it?
Oh man, I was like, man, I'm gonna be famous. But you know, uh, here I am, you know. But yeah, it definitely felt good. I was like, man, I get to because like this was the coolest thing I had ever done, but also at the same time it was like, man, like it just sounds so good. It was definitely like I was proud of it because we we did Leave Me Behind and Sleepless before this, which I didn't really write those like lyric wise, and I kind of went in and kind of that was based off of what the original singer was doing. So this was really like, oh, this is my thing, this is my thing now. It's my time, you know.
Mm,
It still feels like that. Still feel the same. Like I'm just having fun.
yeah. This was your introduction to the world of faith and failure.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool.
cool. Yeah. How did this specific release feel for you, Cole? Was there anything behind this that you were stoked for it to come out specifically on this one, or just regular
Um,
stokeness as usual?
yeah, I mean, anytime we release anything, you're always there's always a certain level of excitement,
Yeah.
because for example, like obviously, you're talking about him doing the lyrics and doing the vocals and that sort of being kind of his first time doing that, at least to the polish and production that this was. For me, it wasn't the first one at this point, but it was the first time we did like a full EP, and
Yeah.
um, but it was just it was nice because there was a couple of the songs, um, were ones that had been written even before the band was actually started, and it was nice to see them finished and released and put out into the world. And but it felt cool to be able to have like a collection of something. Like I actually have a vinyl of this
Oh,
that my
cool.
wife got me as an anniversary gift. It's a one of one now, but we're going to be doing vinyls for the anniversary release, so it won't
Cool.
be a one of one anymore. But it was just cool to be able to do that and say like, hey, we have it's not an album, but we have an EP out, and
Yeah.
it was a nice buff to like the amount of music we had. And but I think one of the things that I really liked about it was working with the guy that we've always worked with for recording is I learned a lot. I learned a lot more things as far as production stuff went and about songwriting that wasn't just like the meat and potatoes of it all. I started to learn like the importance of kind of layering things and coming up with supportive parts and things that aren't going to ever be in the forefront, and if they're there, you probably don't really notice it. But if it's not there, you notice something sort of missing. So for me, as like a songwriter, I think the doing this song and this whole EP in general was like a huge like moment of growth over that. Oh man, I don't remember how long it took us. It took us, I would say, a year to record this whole thing because we were spacing it out or whatever. But yeah, and just like I don't know, just being better prepared to write new stuff in the future. And we were talking about it today at rehearsal. We've talked about it all kinds of times. It's like you always want to make your next thing even better than the previous one, and you should always feel like whatever you're going to release next is your best stuff. Because if you don't feel that way, then something didn't go right.
Right.
And I can listen back to this stuff and kind of see like huge differences to me compared to like more recent stuff we've done. But there's like I guess you could say nostalgia now because it's 5 years old. But
Yeah.
It's fun to look back on that and sort of see where you were at that point in time, and then you can kind of like assess the journey to this point.
Especially because life was nuts at the time when you guys were writing this.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a lot of things to kind of look back on it during this time.
Oh yeah.
There was one thing that I was thinking of that I wasn't sure if I was ready to say on this episode, but I think that I am. Because this is going to come out after a big announcement for the podcast. This should be announced by now. I'm pretty sure it is. But we are throwing the very first Mental Music Fest out here in Brooklyn, New York. And we're having bands come perform who we've had on the podcast. And Faith and Failure is coming out to Brooklyn, New York to play the show with us. I'm stoked to have you guys there. Thank you for making the journey from where you're at out to Brooklyn.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember we talked about it when we were here first, and we're like, hey, if you're gonna do this, like, we'd love to be a part of it. So it'll be our first trip into New York, and so definitely looking forward to it. Seems like everybody you're adding in the group chat is really cool. A lot of great bands, great artists, comedians. I mean, like, it just seems like it's gonna be a fun time all around. So definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. That's awesome. That's going to be your first New York gig. That's cool. Are you guys looking forward to playing New York? Has that kind of been a bucket list thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like we always just want to try to go to new markets, and obviously New York City market is gigantic, so it doesn't matter where in the city you're going to play. Like, it's just a crazy amount of potential new reach, and get to meet. We'll get to meet in person and get to meet all the other bands and everybody involved with it, and just the people who are coming. So it's gonna be fun. It'll be a fun weekend, and and then that'll be the next day we're coming back and we're playing in Cleveland. So
I was gonna say when you said that, I was like, oh shit, you guys are going to be doing a little bit of driving or traveling for those couple days.
Yeah, we're supporting a girl named Alex who is on the same management label as us, who's actually from New York. And the reason why this show worked out is because she's leaving, I think, on the 30th to head out. She's going out to like California to do some touring stuff. But our management's based out of Cleveland, and so he's putting together a show. And I think I had to double check, but I think the guy who drums in her band is the drummer of one of the bands that's also going to be at this. So I think it's whoever was from New Jersey, I believe.
Maximus, was it Maximus NJ?
It might be, yeah.
I think they're the only band from Jersey playing. Pretty sure.
Because when I was telling our manager about it, he was asking who I was playing. I told him, he goes, "Oh, I know those guys. That guy, he drums for Alex's band." And I was like, "Oh, small world, So
cool.
So that ended up working out really well too. So it'll be a nice weekend, Get to be a band,
I think one of my favorite things about that weekend is going to be just how we're having so many artists come in from different places. Like you guys are coming from Ohio, we have Boston, we have Philly, we have Scranton out there in Pennsylvania, we have a band coming from Richmond, Virginia, and yeah, it's just going to be a fun night of all these different communities getting together and connecting, and that's what I'm trying to do here with this podcast. You know, in all these episodes, I want everybody to be friends together. And it's all hang out and play shows.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Definitely. Looking forward to it, and we're going to
Yeah.
help push it and promote it, and turn it into the biggest thing that we can, and
Yeah.
just get to meet a bunch of great people and hang out and play music, listen to music, the whole night.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun night. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on again. It was good hanging out with you and seeing you again. And yeah, thanks for coming on the 1 year anniversary tour. That's what I'm going to call it. The 1 year anniversary tour.
Oh,
So
yeah.
thanks for coming back
Thank you.
on. And I'm stoked for all the new stuff you guys got coming up. The acoustic. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the
And
EP officially turns 5 on the 31st, but we're going to be releasing the anniversary stuff at the end of April.
oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
we don't have a date picked just yet, but it's more likely going to be the final Friday in April. And
Oh,
we'll
the
be
final
doing,
Friday
we
in
got,
April.
yeah, so we'll have like, we're going to have vinyls and CDs for the EP with like the new cover. It'll have the
Cool.
original 5 plus the acoustic version. We'll have some merch for it. All that stuff you'll be able to buy online, and the vinyls will be made to order. So, it'll be a lot of fun, and just try to push that. And we're going to be doing like a little mini documentary about it as well.
Oh, cool.
With we have like old footage from when we recorded the EP originally, and then we had footage from recording here 2 weeks ago or whatever it was now. And so we're gonna splice that with just a nice little mini documentary about it, and just really kind of help celebrate the EP and give it, another shine, and a chance in the spotlight, if you will. And hopefully now that since we've grown, since then, that maybe some people who have discovered us recently haven't heard it, and now they'll be like, oh, there's this, they go check it out, maybe they like it, and
Yeah.
that'd be cool. But yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be fun to celebrate it all.
Yeah, and mental music fest is not too far after that release. So, are you going to bring any of that stuff out to New York to try to sell?
It depends. Well, our plan is we're gonna have vinyls and CDs made to order online. We're gonna try to do like a batch of CDs. If you're just ordering batches
Sick.
of vinyls, it's so expensive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, I think we were looking at like a minimum of like $1,500 for that. And it's just like that's we got other stuff like that we're doing that we'll be paying for and stuff. So it's just like unfortunately none of us are rich. But we'll have that stuff even if we don't have it at the show. We have all kinds of merch. We have like I don't know 10 T-shirt designs that we bring to shows and
Sick.
stuff like that. But everything will always be available through our website and our merch store through Big Cartel. So even if we don't have it and you want to pick up a CD or you want to pick up a vinyl, then we're going to do some bundles with it as well. Like
Hell yeah.
to help celebrate it. So it'll all be available whether it's in person or whether you got to do it online. But it will all be there. Yeah.
Well, that leads me to my last question then. You talk about finding your merch items and keeping up with everything you got going on. Where is the best place to keep up with you guys at?
So our website's faithandfailure.com. It's got links to our merch store through Big Cartel. It's got links to all of our socials, so you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Official Faith and Failure. TikTok, Twitter is just Faith and Failure. We got our YouTube channel, we got verified, and we're pushing that now, and that's I think Official Faith and Failure as well, But yeah, if you go to our website, everything is linked there. You can sign up. We got a mailing list sign up that you can do that we're going to be starting to do once we get into the summer, where we'll be doing like once a month emails that might have like discount codes and for the merch stores and just news about stuff, upcoming shows, links for tickets, etc. So Website's always
Cool.
the best place, and that can take you anywhere.
Perfect. Well, easy enough. Everybody go check out Faith and Failure. Check out all their discography. Give it a listen. Go to the website. Grab a cool tee. Grab something. Help support these artists. They are also playing Mental Heavy. No. That was the original name of the show. They're going to be at Mental Music Fest here in Brooklyn, New York on May 31st, May 30th. They're going to be in Cleveland on the 31st. May 30th to wrap up, to go out in the bang with Mental Health Awareness Month. And hopefully we'll see everybody there. Guys, thank you again for coming on. It was great hanging out. And we're definitely going to be in touch very, very soon. We got a lot of stuff coming up, so we'll talk to you guys very soon.
Yeah. Thank you again for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I did want to say there will also be a very limited quantity of Faith and Failure board games called The Fields.
Yeah.
Board
We'll
games.
have those there. Yes.
That's sick.
I actually totally forgot about that. Yeah, but no, he's right.
All
It's
right.
something that he starts spearheading, so that's why I didn't think about it.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Grab a tea and grab a board game. You said it was a board game, right?
Yeah, it's a board game.
Okay, all right. Grab a tea and grab a board game. Faithandfailure.com. Go check it out.